All right, so you ready to jump into another crypto mystery?
Always.
This time we're going deep on the question that's been haunting the crypto world pretty much since the beginning. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto?
Yeah, that's a big one.
It is, and we've got a new documentary from HBO claiming they've finally cracked the code.
Oh, wow.
Money Electric, the Bitcoin mystery.
Sounds dramatic.
It is, and we're going to break it all down today and all the craziness that came after it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So this documentary is making headlines because it points the finger right at Peter Todd.
Peter Todd.
Yeah, you know him, right? He's like a big name in the Bitcoin world.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
One of the developers.
Right, yeah.
So they're saying he's Satoshi Nakamoto.
Huh. Well, this is interesting because it goes way beyond just some tech world gossip.
Oh, for sure.
This is about privacy, wealth, and internet fame on a whole other level, especially when you didn't ask for it.
Exactly. And the documentary actually lays out some pretty interesting evidence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they talk about how Todd was into cryptography way back in the day.
I see.
He's obviously got the tech skills and he knew a lot of the early Bitcoin people.
So he fits the profile in a way.
Yeah, you kind of start to go, maybe?
Yeah.
But then the filmmakers, they dig even deeper.
Oh, boy.
They found this old forum post from way back in 2010 where it seems like Todd might have slipped up and responded as himself instead of Satoshi.
Oh, wow.
And get this, they even noticed that there were these spikes in online activity linked to Satoshi during academic summer breaks.
Like when a university student would have free time?
Yeah, exactly, like when someone like Todd would be on break.
Okay, so it is sounding kind of like a digital detective story here.
It really does, but
what?
let's be real here.
Yeah.
A lot of this is like connecting dots that could be totally random.
Right, it's like forcing puzzle pieces together that don't actually fit.
Exactly.
You know, we can't get carried away just because some things seem to line up.
Yeah, it's like that saying, correlation doesn't equal causation.
Exactly. Just because something happened around the same time doesn't automatically mean they're connected.
Right. And to make things even crazier, Todd has come out and totally denied all of this.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's called the claims ludicrous.
Wow.
And he's even said that if he was Satoshi, he would have done everything he could to get rid of any proof.
That's interesting.
Like destroyed any evidence linking him to Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine the burden of being tied to that much wealth and influence?
Seriously, it would be insane.
Yeah.
And, this documentary basically puts a giant target on his back.
Oh, yeah.
It's suggesting he controls billions of dollars in Bitcoin.
That's practically an invitation for threats and all kinds of craziness.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a recipe for disaster, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
And, sadly, even if these accusations are false, they can have really serious consequences in the real world.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Todd has reportedly gone into hiding because people are flooding him with financial requests and he's worried about his safety.
Oh, wow. That's awful.
It is. Can you imagine being thrust into the spotlight like that with all that scrutiny and pressure?
Oh, yeah.
It makes you think about the responsibility that comes with digging up information in the digital age.
Definitely.
But okay, let's shift gears for a second.
Okay.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that this documentary is right. What if Peter Todd really is Satoshi Nakamoto?
Now, that is a question worth exploring.
Right. What would that mean for the crypto world?
Well, first off, I think we'd be talking about a major financial earthquake.
Earthquake.
Yeah, think about it.
Okay.
Nakamoto is supposed to have a ton of Bitcoin, like over 1 million.
Wow.
Which is worth, billions and billions of dollars.
Right.
So if he just suddenly started selling, the whole market could crash.
Wow. Yeah, that would be intense.
Right.
Like a digital domino effect.
Exactly. And then you've got governments all over the world scrambling.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to figure out what to do. Like, how do you even control or tax an entity like that?
Yeah.
It'd be chaos.
Total chaos.
Yeah, we'd probably see a whole wave of new regulations and way more scrutiny on the entire crypto market.
Makes sense.
And it wouldn't just be about the money either.
Oh, right.
Think about the security implications.
You mean like what happened with Todd going into hiding?
Exactly. That's a prime example.
Yeah.
It shows you the crazy risks involved.
Right.
Suddenly, you're not just a developer. You're in charge of one of the most valuable fortunes in the world.
Whoa.
Like you've been handed the keys to the digital kingdom.
But it's a dangerous kingdom.
Yeah. Very dangerous.
You've got a target on your back.
Right. And then there's the technological side of things, too.
Yeah.
If we knew for sure who Satoshi was, it could give us so much insight into how Bitcoin started.
Yeah, like unlocking a secret vault of knowledge.
Exactly.
It could change everything about how we develop crypto in the future.
Oh, absolutely. It would be like finding that missing puzzle piece.
Right.
It could change how we understand this whole technology works and where it's headed.
Okay, so we've explored this whole hypothetical world where Todd is Satoshi.
Right.
And the fallout is pretty wild.
Yeah.
But let's come back to reality for a minute.
Okay.
What's the Bitcoin community actually saying about this documentary? Are people buying it?
Well, from what I've seen, most people are pretty skeptical.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of the big names and developers have come out and said they don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying there's just not enough solid evidence. And they're criticizing the filmmakers for going for the sensationalism instead of doing real research.
Yeah, I can see that it's easy to get caught up in the drama.
Right.
But when someone's safety might be at stake, you got to be careful.
Definitely. And there's a lot of support for Todd out there.
That's good.
People are saying it's wrong to put him at risk like this.
Yeah.
And some people have pointed out that the timeline doesn't really add up.
How so?
Well, Todd would have been super young when that Bitcoin white paper came out.
Oh, right. Like 23 years old?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, that's really young to be writing the foundation for all of cryptocurrency.
Right. It would be pretty amazing.
Like a college student revolutionizing finance?
Yeah, it's not impossible, but it does make you wonder.
Maybe the documentary is missing something.
It's possible.
Or oversimplified things.
Right, and that's why it's important to be critical when you see stuff like this.
Oh, for sure.
You as the listener got to weigh the evidence, consider all the different sides, and then make up your own mind.
You know, this whole thing, it goes way beyond just Bitcoin.
It does.
It's about privacy and wealth and the crazy side of internet fame.
Whether you want it or not.
Yeah, exactly. We live in a world where it's almost impossible to be truly anonymous.
Especially when you're linked to something as valuable as Bitcoin.
Right. And like we saw with Todd, that lack of anonymity can have really bad consequences.
Unfortunately, yeah.
It's weird, right? On one hand, you've got this promise of decentralization and financial freedom.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, you could end up under a microscope with all these risks.
And potential for harm.
It makes you wonder, is the price of fame ever worth it?
Especially when you don't even want it.
Exactly.
That's such a good point. And, you know, with digital currencies becoming more and more common, this whole story is like a warning.
A warning.
Yeah, it shows how blurry the lines are getting between anonymity and wealth and personal safety.
In the digital age?
Exactly. It's something we all need to think about.
You know, it really does make you think.
Yeah.
This whole thing with the documentary and Peter Todd, it makes you ask some big questions.
What kind of questions?
Like, what does privacy even mean anymore in a digital world? And how do we protect ourselves from all the risks that come with wealth and online fame?
Those are really important questions.
Yeah, and they're becoming more and more relevant for everyone, not just crypto people.
Right.
And, you know, even though we might never know for sure who Satoshi is, their creation has definitely started a huge conversation.
It really has.
It's a conversation about the future of money and about the challenges we're facing in a world where being anonymous and being wealthy can be both good and bad.
A blessing and a curse.
Exactly. Yeah, this whole documentary, whether it's right or wrong, has really made people think.
It's like Satoshi threw this rock into the world of finance.
Yeah.
And we're still seeing the ripples.
Yeah.
We're all trying to figure out this new world. And, you know, with you being into crypto, you're right there in the middle of it.
For sure.
This whole thing just shows how much digital currencies are shaking things up.
Yeah.
Like who we are online, how we protect our money. It's changing everything.
It's a wild ride, that's for sure. So where do we even go from here? We still don't know who Satoshi is, but what have we learned from all of this?
Well, the big takeaway for me is that this whole deep dive shows us something really important.
Okay.
In the age of digital currencies, things are getting blurry.
Blurry how?
It's hard to separate anonymity, wealth, and personal safety anymore.
Right.
And this documentary, even if it's not accurate, it's definitely started a conversation that we need to have.
Yeah, you're right. It makes you wonder, what does this all mean for the future of money and privacy?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's one that we all need to think about as we move forward in this digital world.
You know, we started by looking at what this documentary was claiming, and then we talked about all the crazy stuff that could happen.
Right.
For one person and for the whole crypto world. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah, it has, and it's not over yet.
True, but I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
And hopefully you listening out there have gotten some new insights into this whole crazy world.
Hope so.
And maybe, just maybe, this whole deep dive has made you think about privacy and security in a new way.
It's so important.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter if Peter Todd is Satoshi or not.
Right.
The questions this whole story brings up are ones we all need to be asking.
Definitely.
So as we wrap up this episode, we'll leave you with this. The mystery of Satoshi Nakamoto might never be solved.
Probably not.
But the things the story makes us think about are more important than ever.
I agree. As we're all figuring out digital currencies and online identities, it's up to each of us to really think about what it means to be anonymous and what happens when you have wealth and what choices we make in a world where things are always changing.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that's our deep dive into the mystery of Satoshi Nakamoto. I hope you enjoyed it.